Okay, problem 8.7 is asking us to prepare a cash budget, and it gives us some rules. Now, I'll talk about the rules as we need to use each one. But the big rule is that no matter what, they must end up with a $30,000 cash balance. That's their minimum. And that's very common. Companies will often have a minimum cash balance. It could be because of a contract with a union, it could be a contract with the bank, it could be a contract with bondholders. It's very common for companies to have required ending cash balances. Well, we're told that the beginning cash balance was $50,000 and that they will have cash receipts of $340,000. So we have a total of $390,000 of cash available, which is a problem because we're going to need $530,000. Also, that information is given to us. So when we subtract the $530,000 from the $190,000, or the $390,000, excuse me, we find that we're short $140,000. Now remember, we must have $30,000 left. So we need the $140,000 to get us to zero, plus the $30,000 in addition, so we have to borrow $170,000. Okay, that's for the first quarter. Second quarter, they tell us, same deal. Now remember, we have the $30,000 minimum, so we can't start with less than that. If we have more, we can have more. So we start with our 30, and they tell us our cash receipts will be $670. So the $670 plus the $300 will have a total of $700,000 available. We need $450. That gives us an excess of $250. Now, we're told the company's policy is to repay whenever possible at the end of each quarter. So we borrowed $170,000 last time. So we're going to repay that, and we have to pay the interest at the time. So that's 3% times $170,000, and that's for a total of 2 quarters, because we're paying it at the end of the quarter. So that's 2 quarters or 6 months. Okay, that's $10,200. So we're going to pay back $180,200. So that comes out of that $250, and we end up with $69,800. That's our cash at the end, and that's where we begin. And the same process begins again. We're told that we're going to receive $410,000. That gives us $479,000. We need $430,000. We have $49,80 additional. We just bring that straight down. We don't need to borrow or repay. And that's the amount we'll begin with next quarter. And again, they tell us that we're going to have $470,000 in cash receipts. We add those, so our total cash available will be $480,000 or $519,800. We're given that we'll need $480,000. So the total amount of cash we'll have after we pay the bills is $39,80, and that's what we'll start the following year with. The following year, this is this year. This year we began with $50,000, and this is where people often make mistakes. We have to bring in the $50,000 that we started this year with. We need to add the total cash receipts. That gives us the total cash available, and that, again, that's just added across. we have to add the total disbursements. Again, simply add it across. That gives us our excess of cash over disbursements of $50,000. Okay, and again, that's just added across. And our borrowings, 170 minus what we paid back. And that's our ending balance of cash, 39,800. Okay, which is, if you look at it, basically that minus that, since these two cancel each other. More pain in the butt because you got to be plugging all these numbers into all these places. Nothing very difficult.